Hi there, my name is Marley and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my Reading Rush TBR for the 2020 Reading Rush that's taking place between June 20th and June 26th. This is my first year on BookTube, so this is the first reading rush that I am taking part in. I'm really excited. It was fun to come up with the books that I'm going to read for this. Hopefully I can accomplish all the challenges and meet all my goals. But anyways, let's get into what books I'm reading for each of the challenges. If you don't know what the Reading Rush is, I'll put a link to the Reading Rush channel so you can catch up on what that's about. But basically it's this event that happens within the whole BookTube community where everyone just sort of reads as much as they can during that week, and as I mentioned, you do a bunch of challenges as well. So the first challenge this year is read a book with a cover that matches your birthstone. So I was born in September. I am a Libra, as you can see on my shirt. So that means that my birthstone is sapphire, which is like a dark blue. So the book that I chose, I took a look at my TBR, saw what books matched, and the book I chose is Something Like Gravity by Amber Smith. I've been hearing quite a bit about this book, with it being Pride Month last month. This book does deal with a transgender character. But basically it's about these two people, Chris and Maya, who end up getting in some sort of car accident or something, and that's what brings them together, and then they start this friendship and romance, I believe. So as I mentioned, Chris is dealing with the fact that he's recently come out as transgender, and then Maya is dealing with the death of her sister. So I guess they are gonna fall in love and help each other through both of these difficult times. It should be cute. I'm looking forward to that. The second reading challenge is read a book with the word "the" in the title. So for this, I'm going to be reading The June Boys, which I talked about in my mid-year book freakout video, about where I mentioned that it was a book that I wanted to read soon, so this was the perfect time to go with this challenge. If you haven't heard of it, basically The June Boys is about this town where every single June a group of boys, I believe teenage boys, goes missing for I think the whole month of June, and then they just reappear. They're just let go by whoever captured them until one year where one of the boys does turn up dead. So it seems like it's a bit of a mystery, like who's taking the boys and why are they getting released, and then why did one end up dead. So I've been very excited to read this book. The third reading challenge is read a book that inspired a movie that you've already seen. So this one was sort of the one I dreaded the most. I was like, if I've seen the movie, I don't really want to read the book. That's just kind of how it is. Like normally you read the book first before you see the movie. I don't normally read books after I've seen the movie. I think the only time would maybe be Vampire Diaries. Like I watched the show and then I read the books, but they're very, very different. Anyway, so for this, I decided to choose a movie that I wanted to see, and I recently watched it literally the other day so that I could do this challenge, and that book slash movie was The Sun Is Also a Star, which is a movie that came out last year. I never got around to reading the book, so I just watched the movie the other day. It was really cute, a little cheesy, well, very cheesy, and I just got the vibe that the book would have been better. I mean, that's normally how it is, but I could just tell like that scene probably would have worked better in a book. Not that I didn't like the movie, I did, but I look forward to reading the book and seeing what differences there were if I get around to that challenge. I kind of feel like that will be my like the bottom on my list because I have already seen the movie, so I'm not super like dying to read it, but that's the one that I chose. For reading challenge number 4, it is read the first book you touch, which is sort of up to interpretation according to the hosts. It's kind of like however you interpret this. A lot of people have just gone to their bookshelf and like picked a random book. For me, what I decided to do for this challenge is just to decide to read what was at the top of my TBR, which I think just works out for me because if it's at the top, that's pretty much what I wanted to read next. So I don't know, maybe this is a lame way to do it, but I don't really have a bunch of books that I can just sort of touch. So I just looked at my TBR list and was like, oh, this is at the top, so I'll read that. And the book that was at the top was Crown of Midnight by Sarah J Maas, which is the second book in her Throne of Glass series, which I've talked about a bunch on my channel, how I just read the first book and that's all so far. The second book continues Selena Elena's story, she, spoiler alert, I guess, won the competition to be the king's personal assassin. So now she, I guess, is in the castle having to do things for the king, and it's kind of her just trying to figure out what's going on. Apparently there's like mysteries going on that she's trying to figure out, and I guess dealing with her relationships with Prince Dorian and with Kale and with her friend Nahima. So yeah, I'm excited to continue learning about this world. The next reading challenge is read a book completely outside of your house, which this challenge ended up being a little controversial since they came up with the challenges before the pandemic where a lot of people can't go outside. Luckily, I do live by a park, so I think I can just go sit at the park and read the whole book there. And the book that I'm choosing for this is one I already mentioned, The June Boys by Court Stevens. I chose this one because I wanted to start doubling up on challenges so that I wasn't making an unrealistic goal for myself, so I only chose 4 books total for the week. A lot of people are reading a lot more than me, but that is because a lot of people are currently not working due to the pandemic, but I actually do still have my job that I'm able to work from home, so I don't want to like take on too much. But anyways, I chose The June Boys because it sounded like the most interesting book to me out of all 4 that I chose. It is the mystery, so I thought that I would probably get really wrapped up in it, and it would be the easiest for me to just want to keep reading outside. The next challenge is read a book in a genre that you've always wanted to read more of. And for this, I'm kind of just reusing books again. I'm thinking this could be covered by The June Boys, which is a mystery, because I want to read more mysteries. I've honestly never read that many of them. Even when I was more into reading back in high school, I mostly just read fantasy and contemporary. So interested in reading more mystery. I also thought that potentially something like Gravity could count if we're counting as like an LGBTQA plus book, because I don't really think that's considered a genre, but that is a type of book that I do want to read more of as well. So that's what I'm thinking for that challenge. The last challenge is read a book that takes place on a different continent than where you live. This one, I feel like I'm cheating a little, but I feel like the challenges in general are up for interpretation. I live in North America, which is kind of tricky. Like a lot of books take place in North America, specifically the United States. So I kind of glanced through my TBR and I was like, I don't know if any of these take place on a different continent. And then I realized, oh, Crown of Midnight literally takes place in a fantasy world. So that's not on my continent, that's in a fake one. So that's what I'm counting for reading a book on a continent different from where you live, because I don't live in the Throne of Glass world. So there we go. So this is my TBR for the reading rush. It's the 4 books that I talked about. Hopefully you enjoyed hearing about that. I look forward to seeing everyone else's TBR videos and seeing what you guys are reading. I'm also hoping to do a reading vlog to talk about my experience reading the books throughout the week, so hopefully you'll be seeing that sometime soon. Hopefully I am able to do that because I have not done a reading vlog before, so we'll see how that goes. But thanks for watching, guys. Good luck in the reading rush if you're participating, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.